What's happening, my Jack family? Coach Scott here, jackedafter40.com. Today's video, we're going to talk about rapid fat loss versus slow and steady. What is the best approach for getting shredded after 40? They both have benefits and they both have a place within your transformation process, but really comes down to defining what is rapid fat loss and what is a slow and steady fat loss approach to getting shredded after 40. And we're talking about rapid fat loss. I'm not talking about losing 30 pounds in 30 days or even losing 20 pounds in 30 days. That is way too extreme. That is not something I would ever get behind. You're gonna be losing a lot of water weight, you're gonna be losing a lot of lean body mass, and that is the absolute last thing you want to experience as a man over 40. You wanna maintain and preserve your lean muscle mass when you're trying to get shredded and really show off your best physique possible. I'd consider the Jacked After 40 30-day chiseled body challenge to be an aggressive rapid fat loss approach, and most of the men over 40 who are following that challenge, have gone through that challenge, have lost anywhere between 8 and 10 pounds in that 30 days. For some of these men over 40, it was their last 10 pounds of stubborn fat that they finally lost, and it really set them up for long-term success. It wasn't overly aggressive, so it wasn't a drastic change to their overall lifestyle, but it basically got it done and over with so they could get on with their life, get on with maintaining their physique and slow and steady building up their physique over time. And for other men over 40 who've gone through that 30-day challenge, it was their first 10 pounds and really got that momentum going. It really got them feeling good about themselves, it got them feeling victorious, and really set the stage for, again, building that momentum and continuing to drop the weight. It may take them another 8 weeks, another 12 weeks, another 16 weeks to get to where their goal is, but it really provided the motivation, the inspiration that they needed to see to really stick with this plan and maintain it all the way, follow it all the way through to the end. So a lot of times if you take a slow and steady approach at the beginning of a fat loss challenge and you're not seeing visual changes, you're not seeing a big change on the scale, it can be kind of ho-hum, like you're not as fired up to diet here. You're not as fired up to follow through. But when you see changes within that 30 days and you see the progress on the scale, it just, you're like, you know you're doing all the right things to get you moving forward and to help you achieve your goal of getting shredded after 40. So to me, rapid fat loss is dropping 1% of your total body weight per week. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you're looking at dropping 2 pounds per week. If you're a 150 pound bro like myself, you're looking at dropping 1.5 pounds per week. So that is as aggressive as I think anyone should get if you want to preserve your muscle mass in the process and not make it so challenging on yourself, not such a drastic change to your overall lifestyle. Like that in itself is as aggressive as you should be. So if you're looking to lose 2 pounds per week or 1% of your body weight per week, you're really probably looking at close to 1,000 calorie deficit. For myself, trying to drop 1.5 pounds per week, I'm really looking at about 700 to 800 calorie deficit, which is aggressive, but it's not like I'm not starving each and every day. It's a challenge. I feel the sacrifice is being made, but I'm not going to bed at night like thinking about food and oh my god, this is just way too challenging, and it's not so aggressive that I would be running the risk of losing muscle mass in this process. So really, for most of us men over 40, we're probably looking at anywhere between 1.5 to maybe even 2.5 pounds per week that we'd be dropping based on our body sizes and dropping 1% of our total body weight per week, which to me I think that's fast enough. Like seeing that kind of change on the scale is pretty darn motivating, and this doesn't take into account the very first week that you're on a fat loss plan. So if you're eating at maintenance level calories or even a surplus because you're not eating the best, you're like, I gotta make a change here, creating a 700 to 1,000 calorie deficit is going to really reduce the amount of food volume in your stomach. So you're going to lose a significant amount of weight in that first week just from the having less food volume going through your digestive system. Less food that you're just consuming in your body and taking longer to get through that whole digestive process there. And you're also going to lose, you will lose maybe a little bit of water weight, a little bit of muscle glycogen. So the cells in your muscles aren't going to be as full. So in that first week, you may drop 3, 4, maybe even 5 pounds, which is why typically you'll see that 8 to 10 pounds of fat loss during a 30-day challenge. It's not that you're losing more than 2 pounds per week. It's just that first week is typically a greater rate of weight loss, and then it kind of slows down to that 1.5 to 2 pounds of weight loss per week after that. So that type of rapid fat loss approach where you're dropping 1% of your body weight per week, I think is basically ideal for most men over 40 trying to get shredded after 40. The only people that wouldn't be suited for is if you are already really freaking lean and you're trying to get stage ready shredded. So a lot of these guys going through the 30-day Chisel Body Challenge, they just want to get to the point of having a beach body, which is probably right around that 12% body fat, maybe 10% body fat for some. If you are getting below that 10% and you want to get down close to that 5% body fat, slowing it down to about 0.5% of your total body weight per week. So a guy like me, I'd be looking at 150 pounds, I'd be looking at only dropping about 3/4 pound per week, which is still, it's enough. Like when you are that lean, dropping 3/4 pound per week, you see visual changes. You see more details, more shreds, more vascularity, because it's just those last tiny little bit of places, those last places on your body where you're storing that last little bit of fat. So for me, it's the love handle area, just a little bit of the lower obliques, a little bit of the lower back fat, and definitely the glutes. So you start everywhere else on your body is it's basically got hardly any fat on it at all. So you really start to notice the visual changes from just dropping 3/4 pound per week. So I wouldn't rush that situation. You really want to make sure that you are holding on to your muscle mass. So really slow it down. And again, we got to look at what lean body mass is when we're talking about losing some of that glycogen in your muscles, the water in your muscles. That's considered lean body mass, but it's not lean muscle tissue. What we don't want to lose is lean muscle tissue. The lean body mass in the form of muscle glycogen and water in your muscles, once you get back to maintenance level calories, you're gonna fill up right away. So that kind of stuff replenishes itself right away. Losing lean muscle tissue, that will come back pretty quick, but not as quick as the lean body mass, like the muscle glycogen and the water. So really, ideally, we don't want to be losing the lean body tissues. And with either approach, I highly recommend that you work with your natural eating tendencies. So eat the foods that you normally enjoy. As long as you're getting an adequate amount of each macronutrient, you're not too low in your proteins, carbs, or fats, nothing is like way out of whack or anything like that. You're getting your micronutrients, and I'd say like 90% of the time you're consuming quality nutrient-rich foods. You are golden there. So work in your favorite treats. So a rapid fat loss approach doesn't mean that you are managing the minutia here or trying to follow any weird trick or any fat loss secret. It's still the exact same approach, taking a nice smart approach with your nutrition, working with your own natural eating tendencies and building upon them, trying to make small little improvements to how you normally eat. So little substitutions here and there. I'm still trying to improve my nutrition after decades of lifting and eating and transforming my physique. I know there's still ways I can improve the overall quality of my nutrition while still enjoying my favorite treats here and there. You know, I'm not going to be giving up any cheesecake, pizzas, cookies, brownies, anything like that. Definitely not my chips on my Friday evenings as well. So working in all my favorite treats, just still trying to make subtle little changes, small little changes as I go on through life to make sure I am fueling my body with what it needs to perform my best and feel my best. So once again, if you want to get shredded over 40, I'd say most men are gonna do just fine with the rapid fat loss approach of dropping 1% of your body weight per week. But if you are below that 10% body fat, definitely slow things down to that 0.5% body fat. And if you want to take a more slow and steady approach, even though you have a larger amount of fat to lose, all the power to you as well. There is research that has shown that if you're taking that slow and steady approach, you are more likely to maintain your fat loss over time because it's not as drastic a change to your overall nutrition. It's just more sustainable. It's more of a lifestyle approach to your diet. So really it's going to come down to personal preference. Do you get more motivated by seeing a greater fat loss, greater weight loss on the scale from week to week? Or are you more motivated by realizing that it's easier to stick to your diet if you're less aggressive? Because one of the downfalls of an aggressive diet is that you may start to experience some of those, like once you get into 8 weeks of aggressive dieting, if you're really trying to push it for that long, it can be tougher to manage. You could be more likely to have a day where you're just going to pig out and need to have a big refeed day, a big cheat day. So and that in itself can kind of drag on the fat loss phase, the cutting phase there, if you have some of those days where you binge because you're being too aggressive with your diet, which is a big reason why I would not recommend trying to lose more, losing faster than 1% of your body weight per week, because you're really setting yourself up for some really tough times ahead, and definitely days where you're like, I can't keep this up, I need to have a pig out day, and really it just kind of all works out. It's still going to drag it on longer in the end. So you're better off playing it smart. No more than 1% of your body weight per week. If you want to go as low as 0.5% per body week, especially if you're leaner, that is golden. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. If you know a fellow bro who would benefit from watching today's video, do me a favor and share it with him. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, do so now. Smash that alert button so you're notified each time I upload a video. More than anything, I would love to hear from you down in the comment section below. Share your thoughts, share your feedback, share your insights on today's topic. Do you prefer a more slow and steady approach or a more rapid fat loss approach to getting shredded after 40? I would love to hear your thoughts. Before you go, don't forget to download your free guide, Jacked After 40. Have yourself an amazing day. Catch you in the next video.